This is the WWE NXT March 18, 2025 full show results video. The show started with a match between Jacy Jayne vs Sol Ruca for the WWE Women's United States Championship. We see Sol hits a snapmare out of the corner, perching up top, cartwheel DDT, but Vaquer puts Jacy's foot on the ropes and Zarya spears her for trouble. Piper equalizes and clobbers Zarya, Ruca with a moonsault to the floor to take Niven out. Back inside, Jacy hits a codebreaker, underhooks, countered, sunset flip for 2. In the end, Jacy Jayne defeated Sol Ruca by pinfall with her killswitch, retaining the WWE Women's United States Championship. Jayda Evans chats with Trick Williams backstage and says he understands what Trick means now. Williams is skeptical and says there's no we or our, he's just trying to get his NXT championship back, and he tells Jayda he's never going to be champion and storms off. Lexis King arrives and tells Evans that Trick is right and he's probably never gonna win the Heritage Cup either. He should just be glad he's not drinking through a straw, and Jayda decks him. Back from the commercial, the D'Angelo family talk strategy, and Channing Stacks Lorenzo wants Tony D'Angelo to stay in the back for a variety of reasons, and the Don approves of his plan. Stephanie Vaquer makes her entrance and gets on the mic, and she says this is difficult because English isn't her first language, but wrestling is. She said she could have gone anywhere, but she came to NXT because she wanted to make history in the best women's division on the planet. Last week, against one of the best, she proved why she is La Primera. She invites her next opponent to step into the ring and look her in the eyes, and then Jordynne Grace comes in an ice-searing magenta crop tank and lemon yellow miniskirt, but she makes it work somehow. She talks for a beat, but before she can say much of substance, Jada Parker blindsides her in a US Woodland camouflage crop jacket and bodysuit and tells Grace it doesn't work like that and she's taking her own shots. She congratulates Stephanie and tells her to bask in all of her glory and enjoy her pictures and personal appearances and being a double champ, because it ain't gonna last too much longer. She says Vaquer said her next opponent would stare her in the eyes. Well, here she is. The next match happened between Hank and Tank versus Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura. Hank and Tank take control and Walker puts Inamura into the barricade before catching Josh with a Bossman slam. Tag to Tank, crushing him, assisted back suplex, dive on Yoshiki, cover, but Josh Briggs kick out. Nobody home on a Senton Atomico, Inamura blind tagged, Briggs head of steam, running lariat, Yoshiki dives, and Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura won the match by pinfall with a diving splash from Inamura on Tank Ledger. Back from the commercial, Eddie Thorpe chats with Holland about how no matter what they do they aren't accepted, and Holland says he's right and complains about shiny new toy Ricky Saintz taking the shine. Eddie says Ricky is a sports entertainer just like Trick Williams, and Ridge says he's gonna deal with his and he hopes Thorpe deals with his as well. Then we saw a mixed tag team match between D'Angelo family versus the Culling. Nico applies a sleeper hold, Lorenzo fighting it, eventually he gets a hot tag to Luca. In with a fury, lariats for everybody culminating with a double lariat that takes both Jensen and Vance out. Sick kick drops Brooks to the floor, flare flip, springboard shoulder block, Dame breaks it up. Adriana takes her out and the masked skull men appear on the Tron beating Tony D'Angelo up. The family distracted, Nico takes advantage and hits Argentine DDT on Luca Cruzifino, and the Culling won the match by pinfall. Ava Raine confirms Stephanie Vaquer's title match with her backstage when Fallon Henley rolls up to demand her rematch. Vaquer says to give it to her, Fallon demands it for next week. Raine says that doesn't work because she's got Jada for the big belt next week, but Henley insists and Stephanie goes with it, so she'll be defending both of her titles next week. The next match happened between Jacy Jayne versus Carmen Petrovich. We see Adonis gets a chair out of the ring for some damn fool reason and gives it to Carmen and tells her to hit Jacy. She throws the chair back out, right hands for Jayne, whip reversed, up and over, Jacy with a huge rolling elbow, and defeated Carmen Petrovich by pinfall. The next match happened between Ricky Saintz versus Ridge Holland. We see Ricky reverses, sunset flip, cover for 2. Canadian backbreaker rack applied, shaking it in, Saintz slips out and takes him off his feet. Whip reversed, snap swinging neckbreaker, and Ridge takes a breather on the floor. In the end, Ricky Saintz defeated Ridge Holland by pinfall with Rochambeau. Our 4 Skull men are interviewed outside and they complain about being expected to wait their turn and say they're reshaping NXT how they like, and they feel like they haven't made enough of a statement yet, and they run back inside to do some chaos while Booker T talks about putting them down like dogs. Ricky Saintz is interviewed backstage and he says this is Stand and Deliver season and he's going to deliver on all of his promises, and the Culling rolls up and they try to tell him that the revolution he's talking about is here, but he doesn't measure up. He says he always measures up in the right places and Shawn Spears scoffs in his face as he walks away. In the main event of the show, we saw the NXT Underground match between Eddie Thorpe versus Trick Williams. Eddie chases Trick Williams around ringside, directing traffic, and Williams throws him into the steel steps. Slam on the floor, back inside, triangle choke applied and Trick deadlift powerbombs him from the ring to the floor and into a pile of bodies. Back in, duck a kick but Trick shot connects. Mounted punches, hammering away, referee Daryl Sharma calls it, and Trick Williams won the match by referee stoppage with mounted punches. Post-match, Trick calls Oba Femi's punk ass out and asks him to bring his title. Then comes Oba Femi and he squares up with Trick but the lights go down and the Mystery Skull men appear. J. Von Evans slides into the ring and Trick shoves him down. Williams and Femi start brawling, Evans gets back to his feet and joins the fray and everyone at ringside starts pulling them apart, backslash. Book starts quoting Drowning Pool, the pull-apart fails and J. Von pops up with an ace crusher on Oba before staring Trick down. The Skullmen, apparently called Dark State, thanks I hate it, stand watching the crowd, then Trick and J. Von continue staring each other down and the show goes off the air. How much you would rate this week's NXT show? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.